Make sure to watch this story till the end, and please, if you understand its message, share it with others as well.
One time in a small valley among ancient mountains, there was a great spiritual master lying on his deathbed. He breathed slowly, and his face was serene, and his disciples were around him with sorrowful hearts. They sat in utter silence, desiring to hear the final words of the man who had led their lives in wisdom, compassion, and light. The master was feeble, but his eyes had that same depth which had always been there, the eyes with which the world could be viewed, without delusions and without fancies. He lifted up his shaky hand and summoned his youthful heir to him. All of them collapsed forward and tried to hear. The master spoke with his dying breath and said, "My child, do not ever take a free horse, no matter how pretty it looks." And by these last dark words, he passed out of the world. The disciples were stunned. Others looked at each other confusingly. Some even took the last word of the master as a riddle. But there was nothing more disturbed than the young successor himself. He cowered and was contemplating a storm in him. Free horse, why should the master warn me of something so strange? He attempted to make sense, yet nothing was sensible. The cremation ended, and the monastery went back to its normal order of things. Yet the young monk could not sleep. Days passed, nights passed, but he was unable to force the last words out of his thoughts. One night, when the sun became invisible behind the mountains, the sky was gold, and the wisest old monk in the monastery, calm and full of old wisdom, came to the young successor. "You seem to be worried, kid," the older one said. "What worries your heart?" The young monk answered, "The master said something before he went which I cannot understand. He said to me, 'Never take a free horse.' I am sure there is something behind it. I am unable to discover." "What?" The old monk smiled, a sad, knowing smile. Then he said, "So he explained that lesson at last. Sit with me. You deserve to know the truth." The young monk sat next to him on a stone bench under a banyan tree. The night air was gentle, and almost as though the whole world was listening, and the old monk started one tale that never heard by the successor. Many years ago, the elder said, before he was a master, your teacher was only a young wayward wanderer. He had left his home, his comforts, and his attachments to find the truth. He was roaming barefoot, simple, free. The elder seemed to recall the past. One day, as the young seeker drove through a great village market, he saw a merchant who had fallen and broke his cart. The seeker assisted him carrying the heavy burden and repairing the wheel. The trader was extremely thankful. The merchant insisted to present him a gift. He presented probably the best horse ever to be seen by the seeker. White, moonish, tall, powerful. The merchant said, "This horse will carry you along your way. Accept it as my thanks, please." At first, the seeker refused, but the villagers insisted. Everyone praised the horse. Children cried that he should retain it. Old men said it was a blessing. Women referred to it as an omen of fate, and finally he accepted it. The elders said that was the turning point of his life. What looked like help became a trap. The horse was originally a blessing. Seeker moved quicker than has been seen. It took him hours to cross forests rather than days. Rivers, valleys, and mountains were made more easy to traverse. However, shortly some issues came up. Horse should be fed, fresh grass and grains. The searcher was forced to pause frequently to feed and water him. Then he had to provide him with a place to rest in. So villagers made him a little shed. But the shed required equipment, maintenance, and fixing. The horse needed a groom. He needed medicine. He needed more land to graze. To sustain all this, the young apprentice began preaching spiritual teachings at a fee. Initially, it was to meet the costs, but gradually he earned more. The villagers respected him, not as a seeker anymore, but as a teacher, a wise man, a man with a horse, a man with a growing stature. The seeker did not realize when his simple life changed to something else completely. He got land, then helpers, then students, then admirers, then ego. The horse that was meant to get him on his way was the cause that he had taken the wrong direction. Years passed. He rarely meditated. He rarely walked. He rarely sat in silence. After a long, tiring day of dealing with conflicts, money, roles, and individuals, he visited the stable. He looked upon his beautiful horse, now old, weary, and quiet. He laid his hand on its mane and said in pain, "You did not carry me, I carried you, and in carrying you, I lost myself." The old monk gazed on the youthful heir and said, "The horse did not get blamed by the master. He put the blame on the moment he took it. the time he allowed his mind to taste the little convenience. That little acceptance became a chain which kept him years. The elder came nearer. His voice was low and grave. Child, when the master said to you, "Never take a free horse," he was not talking of animals, he was talking of desires. Every day the mind presents you with small harmless horses, a small distraction, a small comfort, a small escape. You tell yourself just this once, "It's not a big deal, what harm can it do? I deserve it." And slowly the horse grows. The desire needs more. More time, more attention, more energy, more sacrifice, until one day you realize the thing that was supposed to help you has started controlling you. You think you are riding the desire, but actually the desire is riding you. Remember, the master lost years of his spiritual path, not because of big mistake, but because of one small acceptance. That is how the mind traps us. Dear listeners, if we are honest, this is exactly how our lives fall apart. You watch something just for 5 minutes. You skip exercise just for today. You talk to someone toxic just once. You try a harmful habit just to see. You scroll your phone for a break, and slowly, silently, that just once becomes a pattern. Pattern becomes a habit. The habit becomes chains. This is how addictions form bad habits. Discipline dies. Relationships break minds. Weakened dreams fade. Almost every downfall begins with a free horse, a temptation that seems harmless at first, but consumes your peace over time. A mind that is not controlled early will eventually control you. That is why the master gave such a strain. Warning, so you remember it. It stays in your mind. It sticks in your heart. It saves your life when a free horse appears. Never accept the free horse of mental indulgence, because what you think you own may soon own you. If you learn something meaningful from this story, share it with someone who needs it. Your one share may change the life of other person. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel for daily life lessons.